off my life.
Only 8 to 10 hours? That's not bad. Maybe you get some recoup in the joy of the Niners advancing.
I did get some there, but now I'm nervous about Philadelphia. Joining us right now, he was there, the one, the only, the man, the myth, the legend for the Athletic, Matthew Barrows. Good morning, Matt.
Morning, guys. How are you? Did you enjoy yesterday's game?
No.
Yes.
I didn't. I'm just being honest. I did not enjoy it. It was a nail biter. I was nervous. It looked like Dallas was just going to hang around. Obviously, we'll break down what happened, and in the end, the Niners got the win. But no, I don't know that many Niner fans enjoyed the game, but it was a good outcome.
I've been telling everybody who sits around me for several weeks now that Ray McLeod is either going to have a fumble or a touchdown on this play. There's no in between. And he had the fumble, and then he nearly had the touchdown on the very next play, or the next time he got the ball. So, I thought at that point, after that fumble occurred, and I had all sorts of Kyle Williams memories, it was the 11-year anniversary of that game, I said, oh boy, something in the stars is just not right for this team. And I began to do the thing that some journalists we have to do, which is you start writing a story for both a win and for a loss. So you have a direction to go with either outcome.
Did you have your lead already? LEDE, by the way, kids. Did you have your lead ready for the loss? Did you get that far?
No, I didn't get that far. I was just sort of collecting thoughts about, the running game. They leaned on it all year, and it just was not. They were not able to kind of break out with it this year. They've been able to avoid those disastrous plays, and now they had the one in the punt return, all reminiscent of the Kyle Williams from I had the whole thing going, yeah.
Matt Barrows joining us, and all guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Matt, as far as it was late second quarter of the play where Pollard got hurt, and then I think it was a play or two later where they threw the pick, but how much did that help the Niners defense as the game went along, knowing that one of the key weapons for Dallas was out?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, and Pollard is an explosive weapon, and the Cowboys talked about losing him and just kind of losing his spirit and his personality in that game, and it just took something away from that offense for sure. So that was a big advantage to the 49ers. They benefited from that. Ezekiel Elliott, still a good runner, but he's not going to have the explosive plays that Pollard brings. So that element of their offense was gone the rest of the day. And so it made the 49ers a little bit more comfortable in how they could play their coverages from that point on.
I don't know how to, and you never lead the guest into an opinion. I don't know how to quantify this necessarily, Matt, and I don't know if you agree or disagree, which is why I'm asking. Brock Purdy was not tremendous yet. 19 of 29, no touchdowns, no picks. He was sacked a couple times. His rating and QBR weren't great. But for some reason, I found myself coming out of yesterday's game even more confident that he's not a flash in the pan than I was before. And I think maybe it was the adversity and how he dealt with it.
And I think how well the Cowboys were playing defense.
Yes.
I mean, that was a very good game plan, first of all. The theme I kept hearing over and over from 49ers offensive linemen was that the Cowboys defensive ends, Parsons and Lawrence, were playing out of their mind in that game. And they were making plays to the outside, making plays to the inside, and really taking away a lot of the offense. Van Der Esch was having a good game. But you're right. I mean, those two long drives in the second half were the difference in the game, and they were mostly kind of gritty runs. But there were some really tight window passes, especially to Christian McCaffrey tucked in there. Those are big-time throws against a very good defense that was playing the best it has all year. And he was making them more times than he wasn't. The turnover ratio is big. I talked about the Ray McLeod fumble. That's it for the 49ers. They got two picks of Dak Prescott, and the Cowboys got none from Brock Purdy. And that's been a common theme. So not a stellar game, but sort of a gritty game, the kind of game that you need to win a tight playoff game. That's what they got from Purdy.
Man, things over time become bigger. Like there's more lore to them. I'm curious. It was a big play in the game, but where do you think that Kittle catch off the face mask, juggle, and secure it? Where will that rank as the years go along?
Yeah, maybe not quite as high as that end of game catch he made in New Orleans. I think that's the top of the Kittle pantheon right now, but so just below it. I mean, and he had to avoid a safety. Was it Curse? I forget who it was, but somebody launched himself at a stumbling, bumbling Kittle in an effort to dislodge the ball and to deliver a big blow on Kittle, and it was a miss. So a lot of things could have gone wrong on that play, but he ends up making the catch. Yeah, that's when the things sort of kind of started to break for the 49ers. It was all gummed up. What was it, 27 rushing yards at the half? That was the lowest the 49ers ever got. But then they started getting 5 yards a carry, and then McCaffrey got 7 yards a carry, and things just started loosening up a little bit in the second half, and that Kittle play was a big part of it.
Matt Barrows of The Athletic with us. Matt, a lot of talk about it. I'm curious, how were you with Kyle Shanahan's play calling in the first half?
How was I? I mean, a lot of times what he's doing, and I talked to Trent Williams with this after the game, is he's kind of purposely, I'm not saying he's purposely running bad plays, but he's running specific plays for the sole purpose of, kind of testing out how the defense is going to react to it, and then doing so to set up a different play in the second half. What he was doing at the end of the half, and I knew that fans were going to be beside themselves because I watched him do that in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs a few years ago. He just doesn't want to give any time for a Chiefs touchdown or a Cowboys touchdown there. He thinks that the worst thing that can happen is the opponent scores right before the half, and then the opponent gets the ball back right after halftime, and that would have been a real double whammy and a real momentum builder for the Cowboys. So he was that was his main concern, was avoiding that. And I thought, he said he was going to do that every time. So I knew that was going to be what he did. And the fact that Robbie Gould can kind of knock in a 50-yarder in a game where there's all sorts of weird things happening on special teams, I thought that was a big difference in this one.
Matt, each week will be different, and Philly poses a different threat. Finally, the Niners have to go on the road here, and Philly looked really good against the Giants. But your early thought on what we can expect on the next matchup in the NFC Championship game?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a second straight, really good, really tight game. I think the 49ers played the much better opponent of these two teams in the second round, and that's why everybody is now sort of wringing their hands about this matchup. Oh, man, how can the 49ers play like they did against the Cowboys and beat the mighty Eagles? Well, to me, it was a huge gap in talent between the Giants and the Cowboys. The Cowboys would have gone into Philadelphia. I don't know whether they would have beaten the Eagles, but they certainly would have given them a much better game than the Giants did. So the 49ers are now very much used to what playoff football is. I'm not sure whether the Eagles are, and I think that itself is going to make this a very close game.
The number 2 and number 6, I believe, scoring offenses in the league, respectively, the Eagles and 49ers, and the number 1 and number, I want to say 8, I think, scoring defenses in the NFL. The Eagles are at plus 133 for the year in point differential. The Niners plus 173. The last number I'll throw out, the Cowboys were averaging 27.5 points per game this season, and they were held to 12. So, Matt, with the defense doing the job they did against Dak and the Cowboys, how do you think, are there different problems? Are there bigger problems that the Eagles could give San Francisco's D?
Well, I think Jalen Hurts is better than Dak Prescott. I don't think he's going to give you 2 interceptions, and I think he's capable of running for just as much or more yards. And that was another, you knew it was going to be an issue going into the Cowboys game. It was. I think it's going to be just as big, if not bigger, issue with Jalen Hurts. So I don't know how you solve that. I think it's not so much solving it, but kind of keeping the quarterback at a dull roar in terms of the yards that he picks up with his feet. The 49ers defense was not perfect, and they still held the opponent to 12 points. Another deep bomb in this game. I mean, that's now 4 in a row. Like major 9-route types of games, and usually teams that give up those don't win. But the 49ers give them up, and they've been winning. So this is a team that can make some mistakes. It just can't make a lot of mistakes. So that's going to be the key against the Eagles and Hurts.
Matt Barrows is going to put out a ton of content, as he always does, as we lead up to yet another NFC Championship game. And Niners fans everywhere hoping they can get just one more win and put themselves in a position to get that elusive Super Bowl title. Matt, appreciate you as always, and we will talk to you one way or the other next week.
Yeah, I'll be in Philly, so give me a buzz there.
Yes, sir.
Sounds good.
Enjoy the food, enjoy the cold, and we'll talk to you in a week.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye-bye. That's Matt Barrows